That's not right. Welcome to Max's Models. I'm Max. Hey, everybody. So, yesterday I got started on the Eduard F4 Phantom, the Navy one, and it was time to put the wings together. And I made a little mistake here that I'm going to get into detail later. It's actually pretty straightforward. I'm going to make this one wheels up, which saved me all the work with the internal structure on the landing gear. So I didn't bother to put in the internal structure on the landing gear. That came back to bite me, as I'll show you towards the end of this video. So the next thing was to get to start on the engines. And I have these aftermarket, or the add-on high quality engines with the photo etch and the resin parts, which means using CA glue. And everything came off fine. They were actually fairly easy to cut with a little razor saw. Got everything sanded down, like it was fitting right. But it turns out that I guess these are engine diffusers and the exhaust, were actually a little too big around to go in. And put it together, let it harden, and I figured, I'm just going to paint it when I get in there. You're not going to be able to see up here very well. I've got that jet exhaust paint that I'll airbrush in there later. But first one I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe if I just give it a little push, it'll just kind of bow into place. And it worked pretty badly, but it went in, and I was like, okay, that's pretty substandard, but you can't hardly see the thing. You really got to put a flashlight straight up it to see anything. And since I'm not putting it on the table at a contest where that would matter, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. But the next one, let's see if we can do a little better. So I went out and got the old Dremel, and yeah, it was Dremel time. While I was out in the shed, I put my Johnson Space Center magnet on the door in its proper place on my big magnetic map of where Max has been. So the Dremel tool took quite a bit of dremeling to ream it out, but in fact, I wound up bringing the Dremel actually into the house to do it here, and it eventually got where I could just slide it into place, and it went in without any argument after that, and it really actually does look noticeably better if you look up there. I'm like, yep, you can see it. So I got one that's kind of bent and one that's really straight. So this is definitely not a beginner, or maybe not even an intermediate person's kit. This thing's got everything in the way of photo etch and stuff, including a lot in the cockpit and everything. But, and here's the thing, if you buy this kit and you're just, the average builder who wants to build for fun, you're not going to go in the weeds with it. It comes with a full set of engines and everything, of its own that are perfectly fine. So you can just use those and not have to put up with any of this. There was one little thing in the instruction sheet that didn't make any sense. And you know what? I'm just going to show you. I took a little clip at the time. I found this part on the Q rack with the drop tanks and missiles and stuff, but I don't see anywhere where they tell you the part number for it. I'm talking about, of course, this part right here that the engines mount to. And there's two of them because they're repeated runner trees. Interesting. Don't know if it's an oversight or I'm just not seeing where it is on there. The bottom of the cockpit aligns nicely. It's a wonderful fit, but there's really nothing to hold it into place. I just have to hold it like this until the glue hardens. It just slides in there with nothing to lock it in place, but it does fit nice. So with those little issues taken care of, I went ahead and got started on mounting the engines, which in of itself is pretty straightforward. This thing has a really complex options on the fuel probe. In fact, let me just show you what I'm talking about. This kit comes with a fully detailed refueling probe, but I'm just using the cover door, which actually isn't shown here. I think it was part G20. Gives you actually two different options on how to lay out the refueling probe, but I'm just going with the smooth cover. So once all that was in place, you have a lot of photo etch on the canopy rails. And I wasn't sure I wanted to put them in because I'm doing this on a stick, wheels up, canopy shut, all the probes retracted and everything. So do I really want to put this photo etch in there that may get in the way of the acrylic clear parts? But I went ahead and tested them out, and it looks like they'll fit over without too much trouble, and you can see them. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'll go ahead and put them in and see how it works out. And that was relatively straightforward till you get to the back of the canopy where you have to start bending these microscopic parts, especially on PE71. And pretty much got them in there. I don't know if you're actually going to be able to see it, but hey, you know, I'll know it's there. And then ironically, once you finally get everything in place, it tells you to paint it all black. But, you know, some of that coloring is going to show through the thin flat black. So I did that. One thing this is where I started running into trouble. Now it's time to mount the top of the fuselage, and I had the back end lined up perfectly, but the front end was just a wee bit out of alignment, and this was a bit of a struggle. And this is where not putting the landing gear in the landing gear internal support members, so basically the walls to the wheel well, is that these big gaps were exposed. I mean, what's that? Well, that's when you put the wings are too thin, basically, because when you put the internal components in, it fattens out the wing and makes the camber right. Without it in there, the wing just kind of squeezed flat. So I'd already, you know, anchored everything down at this point. It was tear the whole thing apart, or just go ahead and what I did was wedge these tweezers in place to hold everything at the right angle and get everything to harden. And when that's done, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the interior walls in place just to make sure it doesn't come back down over time. But that is one of those things that, you know, what is it Tommy said in Landman? Every shortcut's sure to be the long way. And I figured if you're not putting in the landing gear, you don't need to put in all these wheel well pieces, not thinking about that, hey, maybe they serve a function other just than to look pretty for the landing gear. So note to self, you know, just don't improvise, man, you know, but, you know, you live, learn. And I'm just going to let all this harden overnight, and that'll be that. So we have things going on today that are probably going to keep me out of the shed. I did go out and look at the B25. Almost got to working on it, but I just had too much else going on. It's time to start masking off the canopy and the side windows and start getting that mounted and build the tail next. So we'll be getting onto that when I get back out there. Of course, it's still 100 degrees during the day, and God bless, well, actually it wasn't that hot today, but it's, God bless the air conditioner. It's doing everything it can, but it just keeps, I do not think I'm going to have this Navy jet done in time for the Navy jet build pictures, which are due on the 31st, because I've just got too many appointments and things going on. So that's why I got my 2 insurance builds done. But I did, there's always a possibility. And I do love the Phantom. This one will, right now, the tentative plan is probably just to put it wheels up with the missiles on it and give it that clean, ready for the attack look. So that's where we're at with that. Well, guys, you take care of yourselves. We'll talk at you later. And as always, model on.